to hear what you have to say about it.
Yeah, so effectively there was a mathematician, I believe he's Spanish, but I could be wrong, somewhere around those sort of parts. And he was looking at the data set. So he's looking at the calorie in, calorie out model, how that affects people within trials to lose or gain weight. Now, he also looked at similar studies, but where they're using examples of people where they're adding in food or taking away food. So they were basically increasing protein or decreasing fat, or just manipulating those individual amounts. What he found was that doing that was a much more accurate, predictable way to determine what would happen with a person's body composition. So when people tell me calories in, calories out works, I say no, it doesn't work. But what does work is altering your macronutrient balance or your numbers, because ultimately that's a much more greater determinant of the mass that is going in your body. Calories is just a broad number to determine what energy amount is in food in a closed thermodynamic system. We're not a closed thermodynamic system, we're open. So by that notion, we're completely lost. Now, it's never going to be perfect. The only way we can be perfect about analyzing what intake we have is with testing machines in scientific labs where they actually look at the moisture, the ash, the fat, vitamins, minerals, protein, all these different contents of the food. But we can't feasibly do that because it's possible. But we do know that, for example, 80-20 ground beef is usually going to be pretty accurate. And if I said have 1,000 calories of ground beef, you could be eating anything. So it's not a useful measurement. So in all of my clients' programs, we don't even look at calories and we never even talk about it. We look at the protein and fat grams and we see how that amount relates to what that person will need. So as Mark was mentioning earlier about the protein intake of the gentleman in the chat who asked a question earlier, we sort of said, that protein amount sounds about right. That's pretty much the same thing I'll be doing. I'll be ballparking it to start, because obviously you can't get it 100% right because we're not mind readers. We can't predict anything, but we can give our best estimate. Then from that point, we use subjective and objective measures to determine what mass balance we need to alter. So do we need to increase protein or decrease fat, or any combination of the both? So that's what we're looking at when we talk about the calories. Then the next part of the question, so how would you change calories from being very active to not being able to move a lot due to injury? Maintain with new activity level, deficit or surplus in order to recover faster.
Hey, Jonathan. Sorry to cut you off. I just want to make sure I'm tracking with you.
Sure, yeah.
I'm just going to simplify this in as few words as possible.
Do it.
Calories are real. They're definitely a thing. They just don't apply to the human body because there's way too many other variables. And as soon as when you eat 100 calories of something processed versus 100 calories of something that's a whole food, there's the impact that one food has on you hormonally and whether or not you're fasted is just, there's way too many variables to make calories worth tracking in the first place. Is that kind of what I'm understanding?
That's completely right. Yeah. So what I'm saying is we're looking at the macros first.
Yep.
If you're eating 1,000 grams of protein, that's going to have some effect on your body, probably a negative one. Now, granted, if you're eating that much, something will happen downstream to you hormonally.
Yeah.
So that's where you add in the hormonal side of things. So you wouldn't just eat high fat or just high protein. It's usually going to be some middle ground between the two where you're upping or lowering either of those amounts to produce a certain outcome. So the way I see it personally, based on what I've experienced myself and clients, is the mass balance is the first thing you look at, so the macronutrient amounts. Then you look at how each of those things affect someone's hormones, so their satiety signaling, their energy levels, things like that.
Beautiful.
Does that make clear?
Yeah. That's 100% clear. Thanks.
Yeah, so for me, basically, I'm pretty the same on what Jonathan says. Like, I never focus on calories. I always focus on it's either a mass balance issue or an energy balance issue. That's what I look for, because when you look at the skeletal muscle, like Jonathan's skeletal muscle is different to mine. Like Colt's, yours is different to mine. Plus, if someone's doing like weight training or hitting a bag or MMA or whatever, those bones are going to get a lot denser and a lot stronger. So obviously their needs of fats and proteins are going to be different to other people. So by you just lowering the calories or upping the calories is going to absolutely do nothing for that individual.
It just means nothing. Yeah. When we're talking terminology here, so when we say the word mass, are we referring mainly to protein and energy balance? We're referring more so to.
So with mass specifically, we're talking about
Body composition.
1 gram of protein, 1 gram of fat, 1 gram of carbs. They're different masses. Each of those masses will have a different impact on your individual body.
Right.
When we're talking about energy balance, we're talking about calories in, calories out, BS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, what happens is the more training that you do, the more your body mass is going to increase, which is what we want. We want the body mass to increase because at the end of the day, you want to be able to eat more food. So obviously, if you look really, really good and you're increasing your you're increasing your bone density and you're looking leaner and you're looking tighter, then you're able to eat a lot more food. Now, there's no point in me putting you on like maintenance calories if that's going to basically, you're going to end up losing muscle. So the goal is you want to add more onto the fire, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So by you going back and saying, right, okay, let's just focus on calories. Let's just focus being on a deficit or in a surplus. It's not going to make any difference whatsoever. Like I know for me personally now, I only weigh about 130 pounds at the moment. So my maintenance calories would probably be around, I don't know, maybe around 21 if I was to count. I know I'm not.
I got your spread right here. Yeah, technically, you're at 2,100 apparently.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near at the moment. I would say.
By my calculations, but of course we know that those are basically useless. No, because I track the same way that you do, Jonathan. I was just curious about what your angle is on it and what your methodology is behind it, but I do the same thing. I just think that you understand it and articulate it better.
Yeah, I mean.
And at the end,
sorry to cut you off, Mark. Yeah, were you going to finish something, bro?
Yeah.
No, Jonathan, go ahead.
No, you carry on, Mark. I was just going to ramble about.
So basically, what I was going to say is like if you lose like say 5 pounds of fat and put on 5 pounds of muscle, that's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's basically all it is. You're just changing your body composition. And when I look at somebody, I'm looking at them and I'm saying, right, I know what I need to do. I don't need to lower any calories. I don't need to up any calories. I just need to adjust the macros. And then I just need to listen to what they're telling me. If they're giving me feedback and saying, Mark, I just don't feel good today, my energy is really, really low. Well, that's telling me, right, the protein needs to come down and the fat needs to go up. If it's the other way around where they're getting weaker in the gym, I will up the protein and I will lower the fat down. So it's just basic. That's all I'm doing. I'm just basically playing around the fats and the proteins to work to their needs. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, so people watching this don't get the wrong message. These things are very often taken out of context, and I get comments on my videos asking about this sort of thing. If you eat too much fat, you'll get fat. If you eat too much protein, you'll get fat.
Oh yeah.
If you eat too much carbs, you'll get fat. What Mark's talking about is a specific amount of the individual nutrients and how they interplay between each other, and you'll find your sort of set amount. Then you up one, like you said, or lower one, vice versa. That's effectively it. So don't think you can just eat protein and have a perfect body. You know, we would die.
Yeah.